It's a very wet afternoon here in Dublin, and it's just impossible to go out. And rather than being depressed and wanting to amuse myself, I decided to read a little piece from the Battle of Brazilian Nance. At this stage, the twins have discovered that a nearby monastery has been taken over by Brazilian ants who, believe it or not, eat nothing but wood. They've come to Ireland because the trees in Brazil have been cut down and they've nothing to eat, obviously. And worst of all, they've discovered that their head, the mighty Chico, has uh, bad teeth, and can't eat hardwood, so he can eat nothing but wood. And he's delighted with the fact of Mademoiselle Josephine Softwood. I'm going to put on the light actually so I can see better. That's better, yes. All right, we read. Softwood, screeched Mademoiselle Josephine Chaiselon. I'm made of softwood, mon Dieu. The mighty Chico wants me. He wants to eat every single piece of my precious wood. Don't worry, Mom. Major Steele, the sword, boomed in his military voice. I'll protect you. How? Demanded Bess Brastray. Major Steele, the sword, paused. I'll cut them into little pieces, but they're too small, giggled Joseph. Sorry, Bess Brastray. You'll keep missing them. This is no laughing matter, thundered Uncle Ernest, who had recovered from the shocking news. We must make sure they don't get in. How? Asked the anxious Brian. Uncle Ernest thought for a moment. We'll set up a council of war. Who will head the council of war? Brian wanted to know. Auntie Florrie said it should be Uncle Ernest, and much to her surprise, Mademoiselle Josephine Chaiselon agreed, for she was very frightened, and anyway she knew nothing about military matters. Besmed Bastry, however, didn't agree, but she was shouted down. As for Uncle Ernest, he thought it was only proper that he should head the council, seeing that he was the ruler of the sitting room. He would deal with Besmed Bastry later, when the danger from the Brazilian ant attack had been passed, for he suspected she was trying to replace him as ruler of the sitting room. Auntie Florrie will be my second in command, and I would like Mademoiselle Josephine, Brian, and Maeve to serve on it too. Uncle Ernest paused and then reluctantly added, and Besma Brastray. The other things in the sitting room were naturally disappointed at not being included, but Uncle Ernest assured them that he needed their help too. Now down to work, he thundered. The first meeting of the Council of War started in an uproar. There was shouting and arguing, as none of the things could agree on a plan to stop the Brazilian ants from getting in. Mademoiselle Josephine Chaiselon wanted the twins to spray the mighty Chico and his Brazilian ants with insecticide, but Uncle Ernest wouldn't hear of it. The spray would hurt the other insects in the garden, not to mention the butterflies, he thundered. That didn't please Mademoiselle Josephine. Alors, let the twins stamp on them, she snapped. There's too many of them, said a worried Auntie Florrie. Besides, they might get bitten by like their mother and end up at the doctor's. I'll swish at them with my blade, boomed Major Archibald Steele, the sword, who unfortunately had lost his brains in the Battle of Waterloo. You're too old, mocked Jan Couch. Besides, your blade is too blunt after too many battles, laughed her chum, Greg Chrome Coffee Table. I'll roll over them, said Chubby Cannonball. And who'll set you rolling, sneered Bastray. Why don't you suggest something then, demanded Chubby Cannonball. I do have an idea if you must know, she replied. Go on, then, chorused all the things in the sitting room with the exception of Uncle Ernest and Auntie Florrie. Tell us your idea, Besma Brastray. First of all, we're wasting too much time talking, she said. Turning slyly towards Uncle Ernest, she continued, You're certainly not running this council very well. I think we should appoint somebody else. Uncle Ernest shook with rage. That's enough from you, Besma Brastray. It's just, began Besma Brastray, but one look from Uncle Ernest made her stop. Enough, all of you. I've made it is my decision. We can't tackle the mighty Chico and the Brazilian lens by ourselves. We need the twins' help. Brian and Maeve, I want you to go to the Uluni Nest and ask Larry to come here. And tell him to come at once, wailed Mademoiselle Josephine. Chaise Longue, my limbs are itchy at the thought of being eaten. Mon Dieu. What respectable aunt would bother eating an old thing like you, jeered Better Brastray. Enough, thundered Uncle Ernest. Well, that's I think will do for the moment, okay? Take care. Bye.